Hey, what's up? It's part 2 of my video for how I set up my Falcon BMS with my Thrustmaster Warthog. As always, those shirts are always on sale on Teespring at the Aviation Plus store. If you can, check them out. Well, I'm going to be introducing how to use Target script editor for Falcon BMS and how I use it. So in the description, I have a link to a Google Drive folder. And in that folder, I have the manual for the Target Script Editor Basics. And this, you could read the whole thing if you want. All it talks about is what each line means, because there's different lines on it. I'll tell you what the scripts, what it looks like, and how to use it. But all I use is to set all of my keyboard, my binds on my stick to a keyboard bind on the keyboard to make it easy for Falcon to see it and be able to map it to a certain key. So here A is 04 on the USB HD code, and I'll show you on there. So this is page 55 through 57, but I'll go to that, come back to that later. So in the description, description below, I have it the same folder, a Google Drive folder. It'll have this script editor file in there, and you can just use that, and it'll make everything, if you press run, it'll make your stick behave like it should and have all the buttons set. So that's all you have to do is download that, put it to where you could open it. So when you open it somewhere, you open it wherever I put it in my Falcon 4.34 folder, so it's easy access. But once you save it to there, you shouldn't need it anymore. Shouldn't need to open it anymore. Just open the Target folder or Target application, and it'll pop up. So as I was saying with all the lines, so it has all these lines on here. TMS I didn't mess with TMS, but some of the buttons that I did mess with was the dogfight switch. I have it on there. So the USB is M, I think. I don't think I changed this, but the USB for that is, it says it's pulse plus USB 0x10. So I need to see what 0x10 is on the chart here. So 0x10 is M. So this M right here is 10, and that's where you put this 10 right here. So it's M, so it's correct. This I have 6. Let's see what 6 looks like. So 6 is C, so it's correct. So yeah. So I did that with some of them are already in there, so all you have to do is check and see if it's overlapping a already mapped button in Falcon, so you won't have two buttons mapped. But it's going to take a while for you to get everything mapped up. It took me like at least 3-4 days to get everything mapped up. But it might take a little longer because this is already made for you, and all you have to do is go into Falcon and have a button, click on a button in Falcon to set it, and then just switch that button on your stick, and it'll set it. And make sure you save it. So backwards and forward, I did X. X is 1B. Check on here, 1B. X is 1B. So right there. So everything is mapped. And gear down, gear up, I did it for Alt. So right here you put pulse, Alt, which is the Alt on the keyboard, Shift, left Shift, left Control plus USB, which is USB is this button right here, and it should be USB G. I don't think I have it for G. 0A. Let's see, where's 0A? Do I even have it on here? 0A. Might have passed it up already, but no, there it is. 0A is G, so yes, it's G. So anyway, moving on. All of the, I don't have this set up. This is not closed canopy. This is something else. Engine to start. I think I have it for one of my recording or idle D10 or something. But you could change this. I didn't change it. I don't see a reason to. But all of this will be in the description below in the Google document folder. So there's my alternate gear, alternate brake. And for this, see, I can go into, you have to run it. It'll go through this little thing. And then it'll say done. And then once it's done, if something's wrong, it'll say like fail or something. It'll give you the line which should fail, but it shouldn't fail because I'm giving you this script editor preset. So if you ever want to edit in there, press compile, and it'll give you a test, and it'll give you whatever line is broken or it doesn't like, and you got to fix it. So make sure you have a backup untouched copy in just case you mess this up. I've done it many times. I've had to start over a few times. But anyway, so once that is actually set in there, so every time you start Falcon, you need to turn this on. If you start Falcon with this off, it'll mess up everything. So make sure you have this on before you start Falcon BMS. So you go into the event tester. So you go into the event tester. I have I'm pressing the space bar right now, so it's space. And then on my stick right now, I'm touching the up-down switch for the gear. So I go up, it's left control O. I go down, it's left control P. So that's my gear up and down. And then my IFR, in-flight refueling, is up and then down. And that's it. And I have that for every button. See, this is my speed brake. It's already implemented in Falcon, so you don't need to do that one. My arm switch, left shift M, back down, left shift control, left control M to release it. Yep. So that's how that works. Different things on here. That's that button. So there's different buttons. That's how you can check and see what buttons are actually in your acquired to your target software. So looking at that, and to change your button, so if you want your coolie hat to be, USB, or that's nothing. It's just one keyboard letter. So USB, so it'll be 3B. So in this case, I think it's F2. So F2, it's right here, 3B. So you would literally just look on here, whatever button you want to say, you do 6, so it'll be 23. So it'll be left control, all of have to be the same. So left control plus 6, which was 23. Then now this button right here will be 23. Or right here, it'll be shift or control 23. Which will be shift, control, it'll be control 6. That will be the button mapping for that. That's the lowdown on that. And every time you get out of the game, of course, you press stop. But yeah, it's not too hard. Just make sure you go into the description and download that mudtest.tmc key. And then in that folder, I will have my Aviation Plus key. It's just what you put inside of BMS. So you load this inside of BMS. I'm going to open it up here real quick. Let me start this so I don't mess it up. I don't need that. That's my track IR. I need this. I'm going to run it. So it's ran. Press window. Launch. So I have it as windowed because it's a lot easier. I have 3 screens, so it's a lot easier to not have it in full screen mode. So I can have my left and right screen showing something else, or control tab out of it, or alt tab out of it. Have my mouse go somewhere else. Alright, it loaded. So go into setup, controllers. Once you activate your target, press start, this will go to combined, or as well it should. If it doesn't connect, it'll say, if you put in this down through here, it'll say Thrustmaster throttle and Thrustmaster stick. That's what makes it so hard to make all of your keybinds, because it has 2 different sticks. And if has one field of view stick, or a hat on your throttle, and that field of view switch will be the same as on your stick, and it'll just get it mixed up and it doesn't work. So this combines both of them. It makes everything possible to map. So I have my landing gear up and down. So that's landing gear up, and I go down, landing gear down. I have my speed brake open, speed brake close. So when you're in here, go into load, and then make sure you put, I have this as this is mine. So make sure you put this as the Aviation Plus, Aviation Plus key. You can name it whatever you want, doesn't matter. So you can name it whatever you want and put it into your, let me see if I can find where it is. So where it's at is in your Falcon 4.34 folder. This is my target. Oh, there it is. There's my target mapping. User, pretty sure it's here. Config. Oh, here it is. So this is where you put it somewhere in here. It doesn't have to be this, doesn't have to be that. It can be named anything. So you can name it. Make sure you put it in your Falcon 4.34 user config folder. Put it in here. And that's when it'll pop up in here. You probably have to close down BMS and then open it up again. But this is where you have it. You press load, and then you do all. It should automatically keybind to everything because I use the same thing. So once you have your target started, it'll automatically be all the buttons for here. So you can change it whatever you want. This is a generalization of what I use. So I think it's everything. The only thing that's different is that the little red button on your throttle, the left side, that's currently for me it's nothing, but it's Control W, which you can set it to wherever you want. For me, that's recording. When I'm playing the game, I press that button, it starts recording. I press the button again, it stops recording. So that's what I use for that. I have this for 6 because I used to use it for what I used to use it for. I used to use it for screenshots. I don't use it for screenshots anymore, but it still works with 6. In your advanced, I think I went over this already, but make sure your slider, if you don't see your slider in the field of view here, it might be somewhere else. So you got to find it and unselect it, and then it'll pop up in here. Let's see. Make sure you have. So this only works with track AR. If you don't have track AR, then this setup, this control setup, is not for you because you'll have to have some type of way to move your head around, and you'll probably be using the trim switch on your stick to move your head around. But this is mostly for track AR users. And see, like I have the trim switch up, down, left, right. I have the trim switch. But hope you enjoyed the videos, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.